Coming to you from the Hart Building in historic downtown Marysville. Getting into all the dirt from the gridiron game, it's time to huddle up with your host, Adam Avalos.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Adam Avalos here with Huddle Up on 93Q. We are going to jump right into it. The moment we've been waiting for is here. The NFL season has actually started. Monday Night Football going on right now. 7-6, the Jets lead the 49ers in the second quarter, 12:43. We'll be commenting on that game periodically, but big news tonight before the game, Christian McCaffrey not playing. What do you guys think about Christian McCaffrey inactive for tonight's game?
Big loss.
I don't think anybody really cares.
Nobody cares.
Hey, for my fantasy
He's not
team,
ruining anybody's
I love
fantasy
it.
team.
I love it.
It's
I got
fine.
Mason.
It's all fine.
I picked him up in like
every
2
Niner
leagues.
fan and every fantasy number one pick just got their
Russell Wilson.
For people who don't know, a little background, me and Tyler in different leagues. We play in the same league, but in our league, I have Christian McCaffrey. He was my number one pick, and Tyler in a different league, he has Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
Kelly told me to pick Christian McCaffrey. I think Kelly knew that he had some lingering issues, but no, Kelly also told me to pick Jordan Mason, who is playing tonight. But yeah, obviously big loss for the 49ers tonight and beyond. Hopefully Christian McCaffrey can get back on the field. He was the offensive player of the year last year, and like I said, we're keeping tabs on this game. Niners are driving 7-6, 12-12 left in the second quarter. But we're going to get to the big story of the weekend. On Friday night, we had a game. Jordan Love injured. What is the latest on Jordan Love, Ryan?
Last I saw, he's going on the IR. Looks like it's a sprained PCL, out 3 to 6 weeks. So possibly going to be, quarter of the season gone. I mean, you just paid this guy, and they luckily went out and got a backup for him before the season started because they had no one. I mean, all the eggs were in the basket.
Ryan, were you somebody at the beginning of the season that thought that Jordan Love was going to take another step this year or kind of stay the same? Or what did you think about Jordan Love?
I thought he was okay. I mean, he got paid a lot of money for 9 games that he really balled out. I thought he was highly overrated with the contract, but he is young, and it seems the Packers have something over there where they know how to pick quarterbacks. They really do. I mean, this is a third quarterback, and I think the 25 years I've been watching football nonstop, but it's a big injury. We'll see if Willis, who they traded for from the Titans, I believe, can step in now.
Yeah, he got a huge contract last year. Did you watch the game, Kelly? Kelly's got an Eagles jersey on. The Eagles and the Packers played. Jordan Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers for years and years and years. Finally got his chance to play last year. Played a handful of games, I'd say like 8 or 9 of them, and then good games. He played the whole season, but he played 8 or 9 good games, and then they decided to award him with a huge contract. Kelly, what did you think about the game?
I thought Love had a decent game. He's not a $55 million quarterback, though.
Yeah.
And he played well at the end of last year, but I was waiting on him to see what he was going to do this year. So I'm a little sad that he's going to be sidelined for about 3 to 6 weeks. But I think Willis is going to have to step in, and like they say in the NFL, next man up. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think one of the concerns is that the NFC looks pretty tough. We're going to get into another game later. The Lions and the Rams played, and the Lions are a tough team that's in that division. Do you think this injury, Tyler, sets the Packers back pretty big time, right?
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, without their lead quarterback, hopefully, what's the backup? Willis. Hopefully he can come in and tear it up like maybe he did, but I don't think so. He got released for Tennessee for some reason. Obviously didn't pan out too well from him. But he's just gonna. Hopefully they're just gonna sit back and do their thing.
The funny thing is you're talking about Willis like anybody would be right now sitting here after week 2. Who's the backup? We don't know, right? But obviously the Packers they have a lot of faith in him because there's been talk about Tannehill coming over there. Zappy from New England. He was at New England last year. He's on the practice squad at KC right now. But it doesn't look like the Packers are going to entertain any of that thought right now. They're really going to ride with Willis and wait this injury out.
Yeah, sometimes it's tough. That guy knows the playbook. You try to bring somebody in that doesn't really know it. And that guy's got to be like leaps and bounds just better than the Willis guy in order for him to be a better fit for the team because he knows the playbook, right?
I would agree.
And I mean,
so.
he's been with them for the whole training camp. What did you guys think about the field conditions? That wasn't really a reason why he got hurt, I don't think. He kind of got tangled up or anything, but the field conditions were like terrible. Everybody was slipping. In fact, when the backup quarterback came in to throw that Hail Mary, he kind of slipped all over the field. What did you guys think? What do you think, Kelly?
So the NFL is going to have to do something about that. They're, of course, all those high-paying athletes, they're going to have to do something better with the fields.
I agree with you, but I think when it comes down to it, it's always a conversation around the tables is after games and injuries is, oh, look at the field conditions. At one point during the game, I did hear one of the announcers mention that the field was similar conditions of what they would have played in Philly, though. So I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, but that's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing.
In Philly, they were complaining about they canceled a preseason game. I think it was 3 years ago in Philly because of the field conditions.
Yeah. So, I mean, field conditions are going to be mutual. I think that goes both ways. Both teams were playing on it, so I don't think it's a reason to have an excuse for an injury. I mean, like you said, I think it was more on the tackle. You had someone low, you had someone high, you got tangled up, and it just really sucks to lose your quarterback with 5 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, no, he got tangled up pretty good. I wanted to pull up because we were talking about it in our group chat, but top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Jordan Love sits number 4 on that list. We're going to talk about Dak Prescott signed a huge contract this weekend before the game. But Jordan Love, number 4, this guy makes $55 million a year. The list kind of goes, I'll tell you the top 10, but it's Dak, Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, Tua, Goff, Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and Kyler Murray. I mean, those are your top 10 highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL. There's no Josh Allen. There's no Patrick Mahomes. There's no, I mean, Burrow is pretty good, and so is Lamar Jackson. But those other guys, I mean, they're getting paid a king's ransom for the play.
Yeah, Love is actually tied for second. There's Love,
true.
Lawrence, and Burrow all make $55 million.
Yeah, $55 million.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, well, the way the contracts are set up and how everybody gets them, Dak is worth the $60 million. I don't care what people say.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's worth it.
Yeah, he's worth it right now. As the contracts go, I mean, people may not like it, but I mean, when Patrick Mahomes comes up. When Patrick Mahomes comes up, he's going to get his thing. He's going to get his bag. So is Josh Allen.
Right now,
they're going to break it
7 years, dude.
But I mean, everybody loves. I mean, Goff is getting paid close to $55 million. They have the almost exact same stats. Him and Lamar Jackson. I think they're only off by 2 years. And if Lamar played 2 more years, just like Dak has, same stats.
You're paying a guy though that hasn't made a playoff.
Who would you rather have on the team?
I think you're right, but I think what the problem is he's not produced anything.
He's still worth the money right now.
He produces in your fantasy league. That's about it.
He's not in my fantasy league.
No, Niners touchdown.
Yes.
Yeah, Niners score a touchdown, but it gets taken off the board for Deebo Samuel.
Good.
Mason. So we're kind of keeping track on the games here. Yeah, no, I agree. The Love thing, the Prescott thing, they're all overpaid a little bit. But, with the Cowboys, now they tried the Lance experiment. They tried the Cooper Rush thing. It's not working. And it's like either go back to mediocrity. I mean, they just paid Lamb all that money too. So, but you know what? This is interesting though. The Niners did this thing with Ayuk where they didn't pay him, and then it ends up being that when they waited to pay him, they had to overpay him. The Cowboys, Jerry Jones paid CD and Dak Prescott all the way into the season, and both those guys, he probably could have saved like $10 million a season if he would have just signed them, a few months ago.
Now they only have $9 million left on their cap.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then next year they only have $41 million.
Yeah.
So, and they got to sign
Parsons.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you guys think? That was a Friday night game, the one that we just saw. What do you guys think about the current football schedule? We had Thursday, we had a Friday night game. This is opening week, so it's a little bit different. But we had a Thursday, a Friday, and then we have Sunday football, morning, afternoon, night, and then Monday night football. In a perfect world, what would you like the schedule to be, Tyler?
Perfect world every single day. Every day.
Football every day.
But my idea is just Sunday, Mondays. One game on Monday night, rest of them on Sunday. Get rid of Thursday. I mean, players don't like to play Thursday anyway, especially when they have a short week.
Yeah.
I mean, players get hurt a lot easier. I mean, as much as I love football and want them to play every day, just give me Sunday, Monday. I'll be happy.
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan? What do you like?
I actually like the way it is. I like Thursday. I like the the Sundays and the Mondays. I actually like the way it is. I just wish it was all on one network so everyone could watch it. Make it accessible. Make it accessible.
Yeah, for those of you who didn't catch like the last episode, we had a conversation about NFL Sunday Ticket, how ridiculous that price is this year, but then also having to have Prime and Peacock and Amazon is the same thing, but all the different things just to be able to watch football games, that's kind of a little bit ridiculous, especially because some of the times you're getting a whole subscription, which you know you're going to forget about and not cancel just to watch one game.
That's what they got want. You for like
That's
what they
want. I know, yeah.
I mean, Peacock's, what is it, like $7.99 or $7.99 a month? Yeah. Okay, that's not bad for 4 months to watch football, right? But the reality is, you're gonna forget, and next year you're gonna have it, and that's what Peacock's hoping for.
How many games are you gonna watch on Peacock?
12.
Okay. Oh, is that what they're?
I don't know what it comes out to actually.
Peacock is the which game? Like ESPN is Monday Night Football, Sunday night's NBC.
So Peacock would be the same as NBC, yeah.
Yeah, but you could.
I think Peacock
but
is only getting
the Friday night game was on Peacock, and you couldn't watch it unless you had Peacock. It wasn't on NBC.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Just gonna make sure we always check back in this game. Debo Samuel jumps across the goal line, touchdown. They were really working hard for that. Debo made the penalty. I know we got some Niners haters in here. Don't listen to him.
I just have the Jets defense.
Oh yeah, the Jets defense. All right, fantasy football definitely takes precedence around here. It's funny, like sometimes even your own team, you're like, oh, I don't want Debo to score again because I was playing against him. Just score enough for the Niners to win, and then. But Kelly, what do you think? What's your favorite? This was the opening week, and they had a sprinkled in Friday game. Did you like that? Would you like to see more variety spread out?
Like, I'm with Ryan. I like the way they have it now. The only thing I was against is I had to go to the casino to watch the game because I don't have Peacock. So, and I wasn't paying that $7.99 for
instead of paying
game.
How much did you say?
$7.99.
So instead of paying $7.99, I'll go to the casino and gamble $799 so I can watch the game.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Free drink. Hey, I won $350.
He won $350. So. That's enough to buy Peacock for the next.
There's a reason why they don't play Fridays. There's a reason why there's no Saturdays. In America, across America, Friday nights are high school football.
Yeah, for sure.
It's still football. Sure. It's just different levels, and then college on Saturdays.
And your people who are, predominantly probably into football, they're into college and high school. You know, your kids play it and stuff like that. I like it the way it is too. I wouldn't mind a Monday doubleheader. I know it's like that. You got to think about the East Coast too. I know we were talking about that, Gary. Remember we were talking about really late night games. But you got to think about the East Coast a little bit. But I've liked it when they did Monday doubleheaders. So I like it the way it is. But I also like it when they kind of sprinkle a game in, like that Friday one. I didn't even know it was happening, and then I found out, and I was like, "Oh, this is a pleasant
It's kind of like you're saying. A lot of football fans play fantasy football, so it's like those overseas ones that we were going to talk about. You know, all of a sudden that Sunday at 6 a.m. on the West Coast, you forgot about.
Yeah,
that one's always screws up my team.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys about the overseas games real quick. Do you like the overseas game? That one was in Sao Paulo, Brazil, or something like that.
Yeah, first time ever.
Yeah, do you guys like that? They do it all the time.
I mean, it was fine.
I like it. Spread the NFL out. I like it.
Yeah,
I do.
Maybe not for the travel time.
As long as it's on TV, I'm fine.
It's like looking at it's like looking at another stadium that has a lot of fans of different teams. It's like watching the Raider game in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of.
No more home field advantage.
There's not like hardcore Green Bay Packers fans.
I think the
Sao
Charger
Paulo,
game
Brazil.
this weekend was more home field for the Raiders than the Vegas games.
Yeah,
for sure.
But just like the basketball, Olympic basketball has gotten so much better over the years because basketball they were able to the Dream Team go over there and stuff like that, and then now the European players are more skilled. Like if they can get football into some other countries, it just means that the game will get better, right? Because the players will get better.
Hey,
right now, there's not very many. Not a lot of Mexicans that are in the football league.
Hey, in the broadcast, we got Keegan.
Yeah, exactly.
Canadians are rolling
South
over
African.
here, though.
Well, bottom line, we love football, and some of us would like a little more, less at this time, that time. But thank you so much for joining us. Come back. We got some awesome things to talk about. Huddle Up 93Q.
That Debo was a run, right?
I'm Adam Avalos with eXp Realty. I'm a born and raised third-generation Yuba Sutter resident who has lived in the area all my life. My office is located at 1429 Colusa Highway in Yuba City, providing commercial and residential services to Yuba Sutter and Butte counties. Whether you are buying or selling, I promise to treat you and your friends and family like my friends and family. More information about Adam Avalos Realtor can be obtained by phone at 530-933-3541 or by following Adam Avalos Realtor on Instagram or Facebook.
When you arrive at Bullard's Bar Reservoir, at first glance, you probably just see a lake, a beautiful lake, but it's so much more than that. It's a source of power, clean, carbon-free hydropower for when the wind isn't blowing and the sun isn't shining right here in Yuba County. Hydropower that supports our state's power needs, creates quality local jobs, and provides an incredible recreation destination. So head up to Bullard's Bar. There's a lot more to it that you just can't see on the surface. Learn how we're powering a brighter future at yubawater.org.
All right, guys, welcome back to Huddle Up on 93Q. It is time for the Cool Kids Club. Cool Kids Club. All right, we are going to talk about this week a player that caught our attention and is now invited to the Cool Kids Club. Tyler, tell us who your player is this week, week 1 of the National Football League. Who's getting initiated into the Cool Kids Club for you?
Alec Pierce. That's my guy. Dude had just three catches, 125 yards, and 1 touchdown. 41 yards a catch. He's 6'4" and runs a 4.4. Dude can move, and he's a big target. I think it's only up from here from him and Richardson. That's my cool kid for the week.
Alex Pierce plays for the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you like that. All right, Ryan, tell us who you got. Who is your initiate for this week to the Cool Kids Club?
I gotta, I'm gonna shout out to Chris, one of our members here, only because I'm gonna initiate Tyreek Hill. How can you not? He had like a Scotty Scheffner weekend, right? Gets detained on the way to the game, gets a little mouthy, and then goes for 7 catches for 130 yards and touchdown to bring his team back into it. And I don't know if anybody saw it. Did anybody see the touchdown dance that he did afterwards?
Yeah.
Stands up there and lets Waddle detain him off back to the sideline like he was pregame.
I like how he took it with stride. You know what I mean? Like he kind of, he knows that guy. I think I saw something that guy is on leave this morning.
Correct.
That was not necessary, dude. Does he know who that guy is? He's driving a Lambo. Like everybody that drives by is going to be like getting their cell phone out.
His own players stopped to help him out, and one of them actually got detained.
Calais Campbell.
Calais Campell. There you go.
Man. We don't want to see that. Shame on you, cop. You didn't leave the cheetah alone.
I like it, but not only did the distraction happen, he's still balled out.
Yeah, he's still balled out. That was crazy. I saw it in the morning, and then this is like how it is in 2024, I suppose. Like the news is like instantaneous, so I saw it, right?
Yeah.
He was probably like on the ground when Adam Schefter reported it. That's how quick
I think the stadium was in the background.
Yeah, exactly. He was on his way, and then they're like, but he's still going to play. I was like, dude, who gets arrested and then it's going to play? The game starts in like an hour.
Remember.
Oh, detained. Okay. Detained. He was
detained.
He was detained. But Cool Kids Club, we're rolling right along. Kelly, who you got? Who you putting in?
Hey, I got Saquon Barkley, I don't have a Saquon Barkley's jersey, so I just wore a throwback Eagles jersey, but he balled out. He had 109 rushing yards, 2 catches, 23 yards. He had a total of 3 touchdowns. He was the first Eagle since 2004. T.O. had 3 touchdowns in 2004, so he's the first Eagle in their debut to have 3 touchdowns.
You know what Saquon is? He's so happy they got in trouble for getting him early in the negotiation talk. He's like, I got a line to run behind. I've been stuck behind them Giants for a while.
Yeah, they got talent on that offense.
Oh my gosh,
they got a lot of talent. Their wide receiving core now with him. Their offensive line is still good, even though they lost Kelsey. They're just awesome. But I hope they don't do that tush push thing again. That was so irritating.
They tried it and they didn't work.
It didn't work.
I think it was a fumble or something. Yeah, he fumbled the snap. Yeah, I don't like that, man. I'm not a fan of the tush push.
Why? Because it works?
Well,
it's unstoppable.
It's not unstoppable. They tried it last year a few times, and they even tried against the Niners.
When Kelsey was there, it was unstoppable.
Hey,
that's what I'm saying.
If it fails another 4 times, Kelsey'd come out of retirement.
Yeah. He hated it. Remember last year? I don't know if you saw reports. He hated it. And now I know why, dude. He's the one getting smashed in the head. Like, he's in the middle, and he knows the count. So, he's got to really get in there. That play is all about your center. Any honorable mentions in the Cool Kid Club for you guys? I mean, you thought about it. All right, honorable mention, Ryan.
Only because I like it. Chris Boswell, the kicker for Pittsburgh, the only offensive making points over there in Pittsburgh. 2 TDs, two QBs they pick up in the offseason, and what happens? The kicker brings it through with 6 field goals to win the game 18-10.
Yeah. All right, my guy is... I know we were talking about him because I was salty that I let him go in fantasy football. But my guy is old man Derek Carr. 19 of 23 yesterday, playing for the New Orleans Saints. People write this guy off, 200 yards. I know he was playing the lowly Carolina Panthers, but that doesn't matter. It was a real NFL game. The stats count. 3 touchdowns. He threw some bombs, too. Yeah. And Shaheed that guy is nice, bro. They got a good offense, too. If Carr can play 75% to how he used to play and sling it around, they can be in some games. They're a team. They're a team that every week they can get you. You want to sleep on the Saints.
Their defense is going to keep them in some games.
They got a good defense.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice when you have the same head coach for 3 years, and like with the Raiders, every other year was a new head coach. You got to learn a new offense every year.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Carr. I saw some stuff, and it was just funny. He was talking about the young quarterbacks, and he's like, these guys haven't even seen Remember the Titans.
I saw that.
It
was crazy. Cracking me up.
It's always funny whenever, you're, I'm 38 now, and it's, when I was in my 20s, all the quarterbacks, they're all older than me. But now they're, our age, you know what I mean?
They're younger.
Younger. Yeah, younger. Yeah,
Speak
exactly.
for yourself.
Exactly. But how old do you think Carr is? Do you know how old he is?
He's 30, 31.
I think he's 31, 32.
Yeah, so he's even younger than me, but it was funny. He's talking about Remember the Titans and other football movies. And then you think about these 21-year-old, 22-year-old guys that are on the team, and they never even heard of that movie.
Nope. Well, football movies are timeless if you're a fan. I mean, look at the program. Yeah. The program's a lot older than I am. I've seen it plenty of times.
Yeah, there's some good football movies. Anybody want to, favorite football movie? Before
Rudy,
we move on?
all the way. Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy's really, really good.
I was actually just watching that the other night with my 12-year-old. He's never seen it, so I'm like, let's put on a classic.
Yes.
Rudy.
I love it.
Is it Brian's song?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Sayers.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I like Any Given Sunday, Al Pacino.
Oh, yeah.
I can't say any of the lines from that movie on this show. They're all curse words, but,
Replacements is a good fun
fight
one.
for that inch. But anyways, I love that. Let's talk. Because we're kind of talking about on the last segment, Dak Prescott, now the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Dak Prescott, the quarterback of your Dallas Cowboys, America's team. 4 years, $240 million deal with a whopping $231 million guaranteed. I laughed when I saw that. A $240 million deal and $231 million guaranteed. Why not just give him the other $9 million?
You know why?
You know what I mean?
$1 million more than Deshaun Watson, who he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
Is that real? Let's talk about that in a second too. Let's talk about Deshaun Watson too. But $60 million per season. Kelly, let's go with you. I already know what you think, but just tell me what you think.
Overrated.
Yeah.
$60 million. Like you were saying earlier, you got Love, Lawrence, and Burrow behind them. You got Goff, who's been to a Super Bowl. Jackson, who has MVP and a Super Bowl. Hurts to a Super Bowl. Mahomes, the GOAT. He's making more than all of them. So I think with the amount of money they gave them, it's going to be tough when they have to sign
Parsons. Next year.
They're down to $41 million on the cap next year. So giving Lamb $34 million, giving Prescott $60 million, I think was a mistake. Not the CeeDee Lamb part, but I think the Dak part. They could have got Dak this year on a franchise tag and let him play this season and then let him go next year. I think you could bring somebody in like Atlanta did. It didn't show for Atlanta the first week, but I think Cousins is going to be a serviceable quarterback for them. And Dak's not going to... It doesn't matter if I'm quarterbacking if I can't get you to the Super Bowl, right? So the thing is, why pay him $60 million so that he can take you to the playoffs and go home?
That is the thing about Dak. He hasn't been able to get over the hump, but I suppose their thought process is here is like, do we just start all over? They would be blowing up their team without him. I mean, Cooper Rush is okay, but he's not a franchise guy. We talked about Lance 2 weeks ago. He's donezo. Ryan, what do you think about the move, paying Dak Prescott?
You know what? It's a win-win for Dak. I mean, he was patient. It wasn't. Everyone knew he was in a contract negotiation, but it wasn't really out there like the wide receiver dramas that we had in the Divas during the preseason, in my opinion. But hey, Jerry's got money. Jerry's showing that he's got money.
Yeah.
And Jerry's backing this. It's his guy. He said he wants Dak there until the end of it for him. I did like the contract though. I thought it was funny. $231 million. I feel like that was like the last straw that Dak threw in there. He's like, throw the extra $1 million so I have the highest guaranteed. Yeah. And I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm playing the other guy across right now, so I want one more mil.
Yeah. No, I think, the contract was obviously high. We talked about it. Lance, he doesn't look good. They signed CD. Next year they got to sign Parsons. What do you think about him eating up this much cap space and CD? Is this if you were the general manager of the Cowboys, you're building your team off of Dak and CD?
Yeah, unless you're going to draft early next year, and I don't know who else they're going to be able to get. Because I'm sure they're going to at least be 8-8. Minimum.
Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, but he's going to go top 10. Do you think the Cowboys are going to be that low? I'm sure you do. I think they'll at least be up there. I don't think they're going to be picking in the top 10. No, I thought we were segueing into this earlier, so I already threw out my stats if anybody was listening earlier. But, I mean, they got to pay
Dak lover.
I'm not a Dak lover.
You hearing this?
Yeah.
He threw his stats out earlier. He was already.
Oh, yeah, I was getting
He's got digits.
I got hit. Come in. But, I mean, he's got 30,000 passing. Was it 203 touchdowns, 74 interceptions for his career. Goff is close to the same. Said Lamar Jackson's about to be there if he had 2 more years. I mean, I'll pay the guy. I mean, and let Jerry Jones to figure out if he can be a good GM or not and move that money around if they can pay Parsons.
With Dak, though, it's never about the regular season. It's not about that at all, actually. It's about that every single big game that he's ever got in. Yeah. I mean, they just get stomped on.
If we're talking about contracts,
he's always kind of the main guy that makes the crucial mistake at the end.
But it doesn't matter. The next quarterbacks are going to break the bank anyways. 74 million, 75 million, 70 million, 65 million. That's the way it's always going.
We brought that up. I mean, Jerry Jones lost a lot of money by not signing. If he was going to do this already, why didn't he just do it with him and CD,
Maybe
months
he's
ago?
better than all of us. Who knows?
I think it's because if you notice in the background of the history of Jerry Jones, he does not sign people early. He signs them when there's a deadline. Yeah. If there's no deadline, there's no talking. Period.
So that's costing him money, though, because
do you think he cares?
You wait.
So do you guys think, though, not even like a next year program because the cap is getting so close already for next year, is this a long-term, like maybe even year 3, year 4 out for Dak? Maybe he can be a Super Bowl champion by then, and the Cowboys can be there.
No, that's the thing. There's already enough of a sample size with him. He's already came and done it enough times to where, I mean, yes, could Dak Prescott win a Super Bowl? I don't think that's happening at all. But could he? Yeah, sure. But there's no data to suggest that. He's been more than a lot of other guys, and he loses to a lot of the Eagles, the Niners, the Lions. I mean,
yeah, but that could just be a new offensive coordinator. And that pushes him over the limits. Get somebody like Mike McDaniels.
Yeah, I just think you got to mentally, sometimes you got to make change to get over the hump. Mm-hmm. I mean, I kind of agree with them re-signing him. I see why they did it. They don't
I think what the
over.
thing is like, where are you at? Like, if you don't have Dak, which route do you go then?
Let me ask you a secondary question, and this is one I just thought about. But when we see, I'm looking at Kelly's list here, but when you see Patrick Mahomes tied for 12th, and you kind of know how like Tom Brady used to do it and stuff like that, and Patrick Mahomes is doing the same thing because he could tomorrow, if he wants, he could be the highest paid player, and the Chiefs will just give him the money. But do you guys? Is it important to you like that you're quarterback of your franchise? Because it's important to me with Purdy next year that. Set the mark. I understand it. Get your guaranteed money or whatever. But then I really want you to, and I know it's like there's like a greed aspect to it and just a get that paper thing. I want him to get the paper, but I also want my quarterback to maybe, take some salary reductions later to be able to put a good team on it. That's important to me.
This might be the plan too. Dak could restructure his contract later.
That's the thing.
Just
if
like
they want to
win,
he's going to have to.
Well, but a lot of these guys are not doing that. Like, I don't see Trevor Lawrence restructuring that.
No, but if you're playing on a bad team, you're not going to cut any money.
Yeah.
you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what Robert Kraft did with Tom Brady. They just paid him enough and put everything into a signing bonus because he's rich.
Yeah.
That's what Jerry Jones is going to do after a couple of years. He's going to turn it into a restructure, signing bonus. Here you go. Here's your money. Cut down the cap.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to do to get Parsons on. Sorry for hitting the table again.
No, it's okay. I don't know. I was just thinking to myself, it'd be very important for me if I was the general manager of a team to find a quarterback that cares about, his legacy and winning every year rather than just the dollar sign, because your team, gosh, there's no doubt about it. If even the Niners next year, when they have to give Brock Purdy this, because clearly it's not about if you're top 10, it's just about if it's your time and you're up and your team wants to lose you or not. So Purdy's probably going to break the record next year.
He's been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Yeah.
So he gets $61 million.
Yeah.
He'll probably get 65.
Yeah, well,
Contracts are way overdone.
Yeah, sometimes you're definitely going to get paid for what you've kind of done, and he has done a lot for a little.
Oh,
pay.
for sure.
That's why they sell him Peacock for $79.99.
So if Trevor Lawrence can get that money, he can get that money.
Then the question becomes: are they going to readjust the salary caps for all the teams and things like that too? So
Yeah.
Every year.
So
Overseas games are paying for this.
Yep, they're going to keep going up.
That's what it is.
Yeah, so the salary cap does look like it goes up each year.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah, I think it goes up a percentage.
Yeah, here it is right here.
They're making so much money every year.
It goes up a little bit each year.
It does. We are keeping in touch with this Niners game. Niners are driving. It is 7-13. Niners are up. 17 seconds left in the half. Looks like the Niners they're within field goal range, so we'll keep you updated on that. This isn't in the notes, guys, so they're going to be like, what are you? But I know you guys watched it. I know you guys know. What did you think about first game for the Raiders? Obviously, they didn't win. They played the Chargers, Harbaugh and the Chargers, Herbert. What did you guys think about Raiders and Minshew? Ryan?
Terrible outing.
Really?
Turnovers.
Yeah.
For once, as a Raider fan, my lifetime, I am actually seeing, in my opinion, possibly a top 10 defense with an offense that just went completely backwards. You can't win games when you turn the ball over and give them short distances at all times. That just doesn't happen in the NFL. I don't care who you are. You can rely on your defense all you want, but you turn the ball over and give them short fields, you're never going to win a game, period.
Yeah. What did you think about the running back, Zamir White and Madison?
I think Madison should be the starter. He played better.
What do you think about that, Kelly? You were kind of on Zamir White. Madison, he has been in the league for a long time, backed up Dalvin Cook for many years. The Vikings tried him out as their starter, but they moved on.
Like my mom used to say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? This is week one.
It is week one.
Let's watch a couple more weeks and then we'll make that decision.
I will say, after Zamir White's costly fumble, he ran a lot harder afterwards.
Yes.
He actually hit the hole and ran through it. He didn't try to hit some jukes and stuff. He just ran. And I thought afterwards he was a little angry. And that's how we need to have him run every week.
Yeah, but still, though, he should be hyped up, right? Starting running back for the Las Vegas Raiders, What do you think, Tyler?
I think it's going to be a good 1-2 punch for the running back because he has like the same size and speed as Lynch. And Lynch is always in the Raiders facility. Hopefully he's teaching him something. But like Ryan was saying, I was just so happy to actually watch a good defense for once for the Raiders. Of these past 10 years, it's always been terrible watching a good offense once in a while with Derek Carr. But now Carr's gone, and now seeing a guy throw a backwards pass and then having the other team scoop it up and run it in because he can't hit the target.
Hit the target.
What do you guys think about Minshew? How long of a leash has he got here?
I think he has 2 more games.
2 more games for Minshew. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning on Kelly on this one. It's week one. I think when he settled down, he did make some good throws. He did extend the plays a little bit, and I don't know if you're going to see that with AOC, but you might. Again, Raiders played the Chargers, and one thing I like to say about that is that's a divisional game. Divisional games are always tough. I don't care who you are. You could be the one that's supposed to be on top and win that game when you walk in. You're playing a divisional game.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. On the flip side, what do you think? Harbaugh first game with I love Harbaugh. I saw in the post game he's still, and I know he did it with Michigan too. But who's got it better than us? Nobody. It's should he get a different thing for every team he goes
that's
on?
That's him.
It is. He's kind of odd and quirky, but that's what people say they love about him. What do you think about the Chargers yesterday, Kelly? As the Niners knock through a field goal, we're going into half, or we got 4 seconds left. 7-16 Niners on top. Ayuk missed a really awesome throw by Purdy.
Good.
Hey, I would like to say that the Chargers ran all over the Raiders.
Just getting that in there or what?
I'm just
That was a pre-conversation.
Yeah, Dobbins had one good run, like 60 yards.
62 yards, and he had a career day.
Yeah. Dobbins is good.
Defense was
Gus
tired.
Edwards. Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I
That's
think
a good one. I like that one.
But the one thing I would say about NFL, we got to give them a break because a lot of the starters don't play a lot of the games in the preseason anymore. It used to be that you would see teams play their starters for the first 3 games, and then they set them out the third game. Now, Burrow and people like that don't play a snap during the preseason. So you got to give these guys, their preseason is going to be these first 2 games. So.
And to add to that, the Raiders was the only team that never had joint practices with any other team all year. They tried that this year. It doesn't look like it worked.
Across the board, we all agree it was kind of sloppy. This
whole week was sloppy.
Yeah,
I felt.
a
lot of the games, a lot of players.
Yeah. So a lot of guys, didn't play in the preseason, and that definitely showed. All right, we are going to go to commercial break. Thank you so much. Come back. We got 2 more awesome segments. We're going to talk about my boy Matthew Stafford yesterday, Puka Nakua. Come on back, 93Q.
I'm Adam Avalos with eXp Realty. I'm a born and raised third-generation Yuba Sutter resident who has lived in the area all my life. My office is located at 1429 Calusa Highway in Yuba City, providing commercial and residential services to Yuba Sutter and Butte counties. Whether you are buying or selling, I promise to treat you and your friends and family like my friends and family. More information about Adam Avalos Realtor can be obtained by phone at 530-933-3541 or by following Adam Avalos Realtor on Instagram or Facebook.
From 93Q Community Radio, here's your local weather forecast. Tonight, our skies will be clear with a low around 61 and with a southeast wind at 5 to 7 miles an hour. Then sunny tomorrow with a high near 87 and a south wind at around 7 miles an hour. And Wednesday will be sunny with a high near 85. A trough of low pressure will approach from the northwest, resulting in cooler temperatures Wednesday and Thursday. Our afternoon temperatures will then top out in the mid to upper 80s all the way into the weekend. Look for clear skies through Friday, with winds shifting to the northwest on Thursday at around 9 miles an hour, then resuming a southerly flow on Friday. This weather forecast is sponsored by Yuba Water Agency at yubawater.org, investing in Yuba County and ensuring a sustainable water supply. I'm Kurt Baird. Thanks for listening to community-supported 93Q, and have a great day.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us for the last half of the hour. You are with us on Huddle Up 93Q. Thank you, Gary, as always. Gary is the man.
My pleasure.
He's the man behind the board, honestly. All right, get a clap in for him. Gary is the man, responsible for so much stuff and pushing the show forward. Me and Gary got some plans for the show. We're going to get cheerleaders in the back. And
I didn't hear about the cheerleaders.
Oh, okay,
I don't think that's a good idea. My wife might not let me come and do the show anymore.
Yeah,
We'll just have like fake pom-poms pop up.
Yeah, exactly.
Just cardboard ones.
Yeah, but we are so happy to be here. We're having so much fun every week. This is like highlight of my week. I'm going to watch football regardless, and so to be here talking about it with some of my best friends is always a good time. We want to get to the Sunday night football matchup last night. Sunday night football every Sunday night on NBC around 5:30 it starts, and last night was a great matchup. The Detroit Lions faced off against the Los Angeles Rams. And for those of you who don't know, but you're watching a football show, you know, I don't need to tell you, but Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff kind of did a flip-a-rooski a few years ago, and Goff left the Rams and went to the Lions, and the Lions gave Stafford to the Rams. So
And he won a Super Bowl.
And Stafford won a Super Bowl. These guys is underrated quarterback pick of
Most underrated.
It was Keegan and Ryan. Keegan, who's not here tonight, was Goff. They played last night. So what do you guys think What do you think, Kelly, about the matchup that happened last night?
I thought these were two very good teams. The Rams are a little better than I thought they were. The Lions, Goff looked like he relied on his running game and his defense. He didn't have to pass the ball as much as usual, but Stafford threw the ball 49 times for 317 yards. So he still can sling it, and he's got Cooper Kupp, which is on my fantasy team, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, Stafford's their offense is definitely in the shotgun, like the gun type variety, and they'll run like draws and stuff with Kyron Williams. But Stafford, it's going to be won and lost every single week on his arm.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua, the big news here. We're going to get a Puka update. I think, me included, I was thinking that this team was going to be ripe for just slanging the ball around. It definitely changes things with Puka out. Ryan, can you give us the latest on Puka, and what do you think? How does that hurt this team?
Well, the latest I saw, he was put on IR today, just about probably 4 hours ago. Looks like a PCL strain knee. He actually went down and looked like on a slant pass. Actually, very like a no contact. It looked like he kind of just dove down and got up a little hobbled. They're saying it's a PCL strain from the preseason that he's been bothered by. He went ahead. They put him on IR. He's going to be out at least the next 4 weeks, which really puts some damage to that Rams offense, in my opinion, because who's number 2? I mean, after he went out,
Demarcus Robinson.
Right after he went out, I mean, your guy Cooper, what do you have? 21 targets? Holy smokes!
Does anyone have
one
the,
dude?
Does anyone have the
21 targets? Yeah, with 14,
what are the
14
stats
catches.
on Cooper Kupp though? Does somebody have it?
Yeah,
I had
21 targets, 14 catches for 110 and a touchdown.
14 catches is insane, dude.
He tied his career high.
I was watching the game, and it reminded me of like when I used to watch like Devontae with the Packers and Devontae for a little while with the Raiders. But it was like, dude, for the
there
Lions,
is somebody else.
you know it's coming to him. Like, why are you not just having a guy shadow him? They were on zone defense all night, and they were doing okay at it, except for Cooper Kupp. He was finding the spot in all the zone coverage, and he just 14 receptions.
Before Puka went down, he was 4 for 4 targets, 4 catches, 35 yards. So
Puka was?
Yeah,
he caught
every single pass thrown to him.
McVay schemes that offense very well. Do you see how they put Kupp in motion? So they run him through traffic. It's hard if you're trying to, especially if you're not in zone. And what they would do is they'd move him one way, bring him back to say, okay, they're in zone or they're in man. Yeah. And then whatever defense they see they're in, then they go the opposite. So,
No, absolutely. For the record, I mean, if they don't have Puka, that changes things a lot. I mean, they're still a pretty good offense. They have other talented guys, but the loss of Puka definitely hurts them. I was thinking to myself last night, I said, Adam, the one thing you didn't consider, though, they definitely have some good wide receivers, but they don't necessarily have a deep threat. Like, those guys kind of run the crossing, and they run deep, like, posts, but not just a go ball guy that just, like, goes straight down the field, and they kind of need that. Like, that would make their offense lethal, because Nakua's going to come back. But what did you think about the matchup last night?
I loved it. Goff versus Stafford every year.
Cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I hope they go to LA next year and then just their crowd just goes off for them. I hope they do that. That would be amazing. Just a yearly thing of them two until they retire.
They could see each other in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they could. But to say most underrated, I think he's 2-0 against Stafford right now.
Yeah.
I think that's the stat. They beat him last year, right?
Yeah. No, yeah. Who do you think's got the better team around him right now?
Lions.
Lions. Yeah, Lions.
My opinion, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it last night. I mean, Stafford can sling the ball, but
Lions defense.
Their left tackle only started 8 games before. I mean, they are decimated at the left tackle. They have 4 guys on their depth chart for left tackle. One is out on a suspension, which is Jackson.
Yeah.
Levinston's on IR. McDermott is on IR, so you're playing the only guy you have who only had 8 starts, and Hutchinson just
they were chipping him. They were chipping him all night. Like they'd have Kyron or the side end or whatever. They'd have to put a body. Yeah, they had Cup.
You had to chip him.
Yeah, everybody. They were sending everybody at that boy, and Matthew Stafford was just rolling away from him every play.
Oh yeah.
And with the Lions, I mean, if you can't pass it like you couldn't barely do last night, I mean, the Lions can run it. Yeah. They have 2 running backs that can just take it to the house every time.
That's great to have. Offensive line.
Yeah,
that's they can. me and Ryan can get back there and get 20 yards a game.
Let's do it, Kelly. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
exactly.
I want $1 million.
I can't. Maybe
I
you
need
can.
$1 million.
No, you can do it. One play.
You
just
got
get
it, dude.
back.
You got it.
No, yeah, I think the Lions' offense is more better suited for any type of defense that they come, because they can run the football, they can throw it. But the Rams are more like they got to go aerial, and it's like every week Matthew Stafford is going to be having to chuck it down the field.
Yes.
And their defense isn't that great. Losing Aaron Donald, it really hurts. I mean, that guy was the best player in the
It
NFL.
showed last night in overtime, right? The Lions win the toss, and they
Yeah.
just take Montgomery and say, go.
Yeah.
And they ran just right down their throat.
Who do you guys like if you could only keep one, Gibbs or Montgomery? Who you keeping? Kelly?
I'm keeping Montgomery with that offensive line.
Same, me too. What do you
Me
think?
too. I thought he was the better runner last night. He looked great.
I personally like Gibbs myself.
Yeah.
He came along. He did some good stuff from last year to this year. I mean, he's not taking it outside all the time. He's actually turning his hips and running up the field when he gets to the outside and turning it up the field, and he's doing a lot better. But I think maybe with a few more games, he might just take it.
Yeah, Gibbs is definitely a game breaker. Like with him on the field, he can go yard at any time. He can go for a touchdown. I like Montgomery a little bit better myself. I think he's a better pass protector, more like stout running back. And I think when he's in the other team, they have their full playbook at the disposal to where whenever Gibbs comes in, I feel like everybody's always like, all right, watch outside contain. They're not really worried about. He did run up the gut a few times last night, and I think they were doing that to keep him honest. But you're always worried about the outside with Gibbs.
Yeah.
Like he is, a dangerous guy. We talked about it. One of my notes from the game: Cooper Kupp is back. Last year he missed pretty much the whole season. People kind of wondering, how's he going to be this year? I think no questions, right? He's back.
He's back.
Look at that sideline catch. That was beautiful.
Yeah. No, I know he
You
was
guys
fitting
towed
it in
twice?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That sideline. Yeah, that was a drag.
What
yeah.
catch was that? Was that like number 8, number 11?
I think it was number 16.
Yeah, it was something. It was something.
It doesn't matter.
towards
It's
the
still
end.
great.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Well, and the throw was beautiful too,
Yeah.
right where
Yeah.
he could get it, and he was just fitting right in those pockets in the zone coverage all night long. Cooper Kupp is awesome, and then that was interesting. Like I knew he wasn't like the fastest, but gosh, his routes are crisp, man.
Reminds you a little bit of Amendola from the Patriots.
Yeah, Danny Amendola, 4'6", which is like kind of unheard of for a guy that small. Like that's kind of considered slow,
And
but
to be
yet,
able to get open.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
then the yards after catch, like his first move on the catch, right? He sits down in those pockets and he catches it, and it's like the first move. You just don't know if you're going left or going right. You're picking, and he's missing. He's moving.
yeah.
It's crazy.
It's always kind of crazy when I watch a game and then there's all these big names. But that Jamison Williams guy from the Lions, he really had a game.
Yeah,
and it's
heck
like
of a game.
crazy when they
He's a
when
third-year
they're
guy.
already so good, and then there's like another dog. You know what I mean? Like you're like,
He
dang,
looked
I got this
smooth.
guy
He
too.
looked really good.
Just a quick public announcement for my fantasy league. If anyone wants Jamison Williams, all I need is a running back for him. He's on my bench.
Yeah.
Who is the guy on the Raiders? I don't have his name, but he's a little like shifty guy. He played a little bit, maybe kick return, punt return.
Turner? DJ Turner?
Yeah, I was like, man, they got to utilize him more, man.
Yeah, they try.
Do some stuff for him. Well,
They-
yeah.
That was just a really bad game call.
No, yeah. But gosh darn, it's you can't. Those guys, they're hard to find. But
They are.
yeah, the Higbee's not even playing. When they get Higbee back, Puka, the Rams, they just need to like get there. They just need to limp in, and then they're dangerous.
They got Cody Parkinson this year.
Yeah.
I
Parkinson. He caught some good ones, and Higbee's obviously awesome. They got Demarcus Robinson and Tutu Atwell. You're never even going to see them. I mean, they were on the field, and Robinson made a good play, but like they're just like talented across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they can get like a deep threat guy,
Well, look at the deep threat. The deep threat opened Kansas City up.
Yep.
Xavier Worley did exactly what I said he was going to do.
Yeah,
Didn't start him.
that's hard to watch. Like it was.
Thank you.
Their team is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chief fan?
No, I had Worley.
Oh,
And we were
okay,
talking about. He's like, you
okay.
should start him. I was like, I don't know. I don't know about week 1. And he didn't start him.
Boom.
Blew up in my face.
They're really good again. They're probably even better than they were last year.
Again, though, they look sloppy to me the first week.
Really?
I do.
Yeah, Worthy's just a game breaker, though. All right, guys, we are going to pull the fire alarm. You know what happens? Anyone knows a fire alarm is used to get people's attention. Pull the fire alarm. we are going to draw some attention to a team, player, coach, organization, or anyone having really anything to do with the NFL based on this last week's performance. Maybe you think it's time to pull the fire alarm. Pull the fire alarm, that's hard to say. On a player who everyone touted as a certified lock before the season. Maybe it's time to pull the fire alarm on a team that was supposed to be an imposer, but now you're kind of thinking is maybe an imposter. Go ahead, boys. Let's pull the fire alarm. Who's somebody that you think it's time to draw some attention to that, hey, maybe they're not as good as we thought. Maybe this isn't what we thought. Tyler.
Oh, I don't know if it's right for the segment, but the Giants, everybody was going to be terrible. But I think Dable's going to be the first one out, the head coach out.
Gone.
I mean, they had Daniel Jones, 42 passes, only completed 22, 186 yards. There's no rushing. I mean, they got to play the Commanders, Browns,
and they wore the
Seahawks,
worst
Eagles.
They wore the worst uniforms. This
Yeah,
week.
those unis were terrible. The Daniel Jones, I don't know where he's at on that list. He's not on your top 10, but he's a high-paid quarterback.
Yeah, he's a high-paid
He
quarterback.
got a big contract.
Where's he at? He's like in top 15, and they've got to only be playing him right now because of the price tag, right?
Well,
Yeah,
you
that
have to.
GM's either got to go or the head coach has got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's going to blow it all up.
I kind of feel bad for him, man. He's always got this like
Maybe
puppy dog
Sanders will
look.
go there.
He always looks a little bit lost, like almost like he's just like, you know what? I tried it for a while. Maybe it's time to just hang him up.
And Dable was supposed to come over from the Bills and do great.
Yeah. Yeah,
Pull fire alarm.
they got to do something. New York Giants.
Wait, he just realizes
lost
he
Saquon.
doesn't have a quarterback like
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Ryan, who you got? Pull the fire alarm on him.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. I think it's been a hot topic today. Deshaun Watson. I'm done. He's gone. He was 24 45, 169 yards. Again, $230 million contract when he went over there, and he even set out a whole year after that. He had 1 TD, 2 interceptions, 6 sacks. He got hit 17 times. Homeboy can't play when you're getting hit that much. And I believe it says QB rating of a 9.4.
How did he get so bad so quick?
Well, he's got distractions. I don't know if you guys noticed, but news broke today. He's in another civil lawsuit from 2020.
Really?
Sexual assault. Welcome to the club again.
Well, that one when he was on a date with her. So
I know. I read it.
So for those of you
I
who
read
don't
it,
know-
and it's not radio friendly, but it was bad.
Deshaun Watson is the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. He used to play for the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
And apparently he was like getting all these massages and stuff. And then,
But he was
Craigslist.
he was giving them the happy ending.
yeah, he was giving them the happy endings or something. We're towing the line of what can be said on radio. But anyways, and he was good with the Texans. And then he came over to the Browns. They signed him for a huge deal. And
fully guaranteed deal.
Fully guaranteed. And he just looks terrible.
Terrible.
They just need to eat like
Terrible.
they did Russell Wilson.
Welcome to the fire alarm.
Who's their backup quarterback over there right now?
Don't know. It's the Browns. I don't care.
No, same thing though. Like they got to play him. He makes too much money.
I think he did okay in the preseason, from what I remember.
Yeah, it's
You
like
look up,
that
Ryan?
hyphenated name, like Thomas.
Not Peoples
yeah.
Jones. Thomas.
Something.
I'll say Peoples Jones.
Dallas, though, just to interject here, Dallas did the same exact thing last year. They beat up on the kind of crappy teams, but when they played the tough teams that could kind of push back, then they didn't fare so well. So, but yeah, Dallas literally took it to him yesterday. That defensive line was all over him. Deshaun Watson, we're pulling the fire alarm on you, dude. You literally, you better get right or get gone. All right, come on, Kelly, bring us home.
Mine is a group. I want to pull the fire alarm on everyone who expect so much out of these rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like, we ask too much of them.
I agree with you on that one.
I seen a stat that said the last 15 rookie quarterbacks to start opening day, their record was 0-14-1. And yesterday they went 1-2. But the only reason why they got a win is because Chicago's defense scored 2 touchdowns, right? Caleb Williams, he had, let me see, I got it right here. He had 93 yards passing.
He had more nail polish on than yards.
He had 15 rush yards. He had 2 sacks. He didn't throw an interception. But then you got Bo Nix. He had 138 pass yards, 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
He ran for 35 yards and a touchdown, but he also was sacked twice.
Yeah.
Then you got Daniels. He was 180 yards passing,
But he didn't turn the ball over. He was good.
Yeah, but
He
the
probably
thing
looked
is,
the best out of them.
He ran like a running back. He had 88 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had like 16 carries or something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, I just think we expect too much out of these rookie quarterbacks. I don't think Bo Nix is that bad, to be honest with you. if you look at him compared to John Elway, he was better than John Elway in his opening game.
Yeah.
John Elway was actually benched at halftime of his first game against the Giants. He was 1 for 8 with 2 interceptions. They set him out the rest of the game. So I just think we expect too much of these rookie quarterbacks, and they come in and they don't always light the game on fire. So,
do we expect too much, or is it the hype that they're putting on themselves coming out of college?
Let me get into my pick because he's because of that he's not going to like it. My pull the fire alarm guy is Caleb Williams. Overrated. That's what I think.
I like it.
14 of 29, 93 yards, 3.2 average. I mean, that's literally dump offs. You could do that with a Nerf football in your living room. Quarterback rating of 22.2, and I'm not really dogging on him. He probably will be like somewhere in the middle of the pack, but and it only was one game, but he kind of set himself up with this. A little bit of a diva at USC, I thought, the painted fingernails. I don't even really care about that. I don't even really care about that. He was trying to do too much yesterday, and I think he learned a valuable lesson. The NFL is a different ball game than college football. And one of my biggest things why I was pushing back against people saying he was going to be so good, USC is just not one of the top schools, and they were losing to some mid-level
I said when
guys.
was the last USC quarterback to win?
Guy.
they could have kept Justin Fields to do what he did last year.
Yeah, you're right about that. Justin Fields had better stats than him yesterday.
Yes, he did.
And he won.
Yeah,
I guess they both won.
No, they both did, but you just said it. Literally, all sorts of things needed to happen for the Bears to win yesterday. They shouldn't have won, and they won in spite of him. I mean, 93 yards in his first game for all that hoopla, and he was playing the Titans, not one of the best teams in the NFL. You should definitely, get some stats, have some impressive plays. There should be one thing from that game, if he was that good, that we're kind of looking to and saying, oh, I see it with Caleb Williams.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I think pull the fire alarm on him. I think, he, that is what it is. He's not going to be terrible. I know that. He definitely showed some flashes, but there's guys online saying that he could maybe potentially be MVP or that the Bears are going to make the playoffs. Bears are not making the playoffs. You heard it here first. Their division is too good. Even with the Love injury, when he comes back, the Packers are really good, and the Vikings are not bad. Yeah. The Vikings are not bad. Darnold's serviceable, and they got some weapons.
He balled.
Man. Yeah.
I think the Packers would have won that division if Love hadn't got hurt, but we'll see.
Anybody else you just want to throw in there, pull the fire alarm on them? No Marvin Harrison Jr. fire alarm?
Maybe. Aaron Rodgers.
Fighting words.
Aaron Rodgers is playing right now. 10 minutes left in the game. Niners are up 16-7. They're driving. Yeah, they're within the 40-yard line. Brock Purdy's kind of doing his thing. We're going to get out of here and watch the game. I think it's not a Marvin Harrison Jr. thing. There was lots of game film where he was kind of wide open. But Kyler Murray, you were my pick, man, to have a great year.
Look downfield when you roll out.
It started going good. You got to look for that guy, man. Don't leave my man Kelly here hanging, all right?
Right. Next week, I want him to be a cool kid.
Yeah, he got to be on the Cool Kids Club. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the last hour. We'll get back to Monday Night Football. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We'll see you next week. Huddle Up 93Q.